Hello and welcome to another episode of Swim Sets by the Pool. My name is Nathan Cohen. I'm a professional triathlete and I just love swimming. And with me, as always, the Greg Harper.
Nate, I love swimming as well, and I'm glad you said that. My name is Greg Harper. I swam in the Olympic trials in 2012, swam at UC Berkeley, and trained with some Olympians on a daily basis. Been coached by Olympic coaches, been in the pool every day since I was 4, and we're just here. We love swimming, and we want to help you. So
Yeah,
listen to us.
we do want to help you. That's what this podcast is all about. We want to give you a free swim workout so you don't have to go to the pool and question, what are you doing here? What do I do with my hands? All that stuff, you know? It's awkward, but we're trying to help you not be awkward at the pool. We want you to show up like a pro with a swim set that is already vetted through us for you. And along the way, we're going to give you some tips as we talk about the swim set so you can execute it to perfection. That's why we're here.
And we just want you to enjoy it, and that's how you be consistent, enjoyment.
Yeah. So, the quick tip for today, we start every episode with a quick tip just to get you in the zone of what's one thing I could do today to be a better swimmer. And my quick tip is practice swimming with a little less breathing. Now, I know that may sound a little scary. It's like we all like breathing, oxygen is necessary for survival, but just try and swim a 25 with maybe one breath or even no breath if you're feeling
No
crazy.
breath.
See how far you get, just no breath. And don't try and smash it. Like, don't try and go super, super hard. Just be smooth. Like, you could always just pick your head up. The air's there, it's floating around you. So you don't have to be afraid. Try and swim a 25, no breath. If you want, try and do some dolphin kick, which is when you kick with two legs underwater, no breath as far as you can. Stuff like that, it gets you a little more aware of what you're doing in the water, I would say. And it's kind of like a staple. Like I've been doing a lot of different swim sets and yeah, every part of my swimming career, I guess, I've done some no breath stuff. So yeah.
No breathers. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but I used to coach 8-year-olds and they could rep no breathers. So if you're not 8 years old and you're older than that, you definitely should be able to do a no breather.
Hmm.
And yeah, like you said, it kind of helps people realize they have to stay relaxed. Like when you do no breathers and stuff, if you just crush your legs, kick, 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 like they use the most oxygen. So, you're gonna slow it down and you kind of feel the weightlessness of the pool, and that's how you succeed. I mean, people can do 100 without breathing too because they're so relaxed. It's so easy to move through the water. So, um, yeah, it's about that connection with the water, spiritual
Yeah.
connection.
Okay, so that's your quick tip. You can practice that in the warm up of the set. Greg actually brought us the set. Where'd you find this set, Greg?
I find this set on a whiteboard in Boulder, Colorado,
Mm,
written by a fellow pro triathlete. We'll give him a shout because we know he's listening, Justin Metzler. I did this set actually, and it was a solid crew. The pool was closed, and we had to rush to another pool to get it done. It was done short course. It was meant for long course, but then he changed the intervals we see here to short course. Yeah, so it was probably 10 of us pro triathletes doing this set. And honestly, this set is a very triathlon set. And it doesn't look advanced per se, but I think the length of intervals and stuff, like you probably have to have a little, yeah, you got to be someone at a good level, I think, to like do this set, do it properly, and get something out of it. Like if you're really developing, I don't know if this is quite the set with you because just the intervals are a bit long.
hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll dive right into it. 400 swim choice. If you want to integrate the quick tip, I would say try a 25 four breaths, 25 three, and then 25 two, and then 25 one. If you really want to push it, knock off the four and then just go three, two, one, zero or
Ooh.
25s.
I
Um,
think that's good in warm up too. Like you kind of open up your lungs a little bit and kind of get
mhm.
ready. So I like doing a little bit of that stuff in warm up for sure.
Yeah. And then 6 by 100, kick swim or drill swim by 25. So that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I would like to see maybe a little more direction. Like, hey, let's go odds. We're gonna go kick,
Hmm.
swim, kick, swim, and the evens we're going X drill, you know, because when you just give people like a blanket drill swim, I mean, what are they really doing? Like when I did this set, I remember kind of doing some drill, and I don't think really anyone else was. So I think that I can fall victim to that again. So
Yeah.
maybe we say the odds are kick swim by 25, or maybe we go 50 kick, 50 swim, so you can use a board, if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then the evens, maybe we go side kick on number one, 6 count switch on number two, and three quarters catch up on number three. Just kind of give it a little bit direction on that drill. I would say is we like to be engaged when we swim, right?
Yeah, definitely. So 6x100s odds are 50 kick, 50 swim. Evens are drill swim by 25. And like Greg was saying, the side kick drill, I've actually been doing that a lot lately, almost every
Mm,
swim. Just hand out in front, kicking on the side, and then I go right into, so I do breathing on my left and then breathing on my right to
mm-hmm.
even it out, one on each side. And I swim breathing to whatever side I'm kicking on. And it's
Oh,
been
okay,
nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one note, just like when you're doing sidekick or maybe like 6 count switch where you're counting switch, make sure
Hmm.
those eyes are just locked down
Yeah.
too. Like
Hmm.
a lot of people have maybe their head starts turning a little bit, but like swimming,
Yeah.
it's just that head when you're not breathing, it has to be so locked in place. Like
Hmm.
you look at these Olympic swimmers since the Olympics is going on and just like, dude, their heads are not well. Honestly, it reaches a tipping point. Then you get so good, and then people have like quirky strokes almost. But it's like,
Hmm.
their heads are locked in. Like there's no wasted energy there. So make sure your eyes are down, and that's swimming. Your eyes are locked down unless you're breathing.
Yeah. And also, one thing I like to do on that side kick drill is really lean into your chest, like in the water, and
Hmm.
like feel your hips come up with that. So as you're like kind of, because your chest is two big bags of air,
Yeah.
and depending on how much you had to eat, maybe like half a bag of air in your stomach area. So just like
Yeah.
lean into that, and that helps you be high in the water.
Yeah, I mean, body position is so crucial, and that's the thing. If you can find comfortability on your side like that, like where you're breathing and feel high, like you're gonna have a good stroke. If it's hard, keep working, and then when it feels good, like you'll be at a different level in the pool.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just good for rotation. And rotation is something we can all do a little bit better. Most people don't rotate enough, I would say, in the swim.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, you just kind of swim flat,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the thing about the side kick and stuff, you're kind of going all the way onto your side with that little over exaggeration. That's kind of how drills work. You over exaggerate. So then when you swim subconsciously, you don't quite get there, but you get close. And that's kind of what we're after.
Hmm. Totally. So great.
All
Break
right,
down this
cool.
main
Yeah.
set, this
That's
triathlon main set, I guess.
it's pretty standard. It's 10 300s. It says strong aerobic. 4 on 430, 420, sorry, 3 on 420, 2 on 410, and then one faster than 4 minute. So that's kind of relative for everyone. Basically, it's like a base interval, and then you squeeze it down, so
Mhm.
it's 30 seconds faster. Um, and it says strong aerobic. So people were kind of going, you start off with a good pace and you squeeze down the pace a bit, but the interval like shrinks, So it's not about like just making the interval. Like you're kind of going as quick closer to 4 minutes on the fast, the beginning, and then you kind of get a little bit faster.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier, they're long intervals. 10 300 is kind of a big set, I think, for a lot of people. I might
Mhm.
I might say let's go 31s or
Mhm.
60 50s, God forbid. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh my
I think
gosh.
people probably need a little more reset of the stroke. And honestly, even with some of the guys I was swimming with, it's like if you're not engaged and focused the whole time, then it behooves you to break it up a little bit. But if you're doing 10 threes, you're focused, you're working on something, you're feeling strong each 300 and not the stroke doesn't fall apart, go for it. But I think that's kind of rare.
Hmm. Yeah. I did a set similar to this, but it was 200s. It was like 2200s.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just kind of squeezed down the interval. And so I was starting at like pretty chill pace, like for me, it was like closer to like my easy pace or recovery pace, so like 110 per 100,
Hmm.
109 per 100, and then I got down to like 105. So it's just
Okay.
like a little bit tighter
Yeah.
at the end. But what I was trying to do was instead of giving it more effort, I call it like giving it more form, like giving it more technique.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be like a little bit higher in the water, like getting my catch like a little bit, I don't know, earlier or better and that
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
stuff.
No,
And
100%.
that's where I was trying to get the speed from rather than the effort. Maybe a little bit tighter on the streamlines.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that kind of leans into easy speed a bit too. And that's big. I mean, that's why we do that super fast stuff too, because it helps you have the easier speed for like these longer reps. And yeah, I mean, you watch the 1500-meter in the Olympics or the 800-meter Olympics, it's like that first 500 of the 800, like it should feel fast, but like easy speed. And then things start getting really tight. And then every ounce of your being is trying to hold that same stroke when it's so hard. But it's like, a lot of swimming is feeling pretty good when you're doing it. So I think that's wise for sure. Yeah, and I like the intervals changing. I mean, we're not doing much besides swimming freestyle, so the intervals, gotta change. You gotta keep the people engaged. The
Mm.
thing about people doing this set that I was with, they are professionals, triathletes. Like this is their job. They're gonna do it no matter what. So like if I were to give this set to, an age group or a group of people, I probably would maybe like put a few more things in it. Like, okay, on this one, we're going the middle 100, breathe every 7, just like
Mm.
something to keep people a little more engaged. But it kind of depends what you like as well. If you like that kind of just straight shot,
Hmm.
quote unquote, boring, then yeah, kind of roll with it. Sorry, Justin, just that's not boring.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like those. I mean, I feel like a lot of the sets I do are pretty boring.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a lot of the same stuff. But when you have good form cues, like the quick tips that we give at each episode and the things we talk about, if you have like two of those things that you're really focusing on, you could make these sets fly by because you're like so engaged on like, okay, I was joking like with some people like at this open water swim series that I do. I'm like, yeah, pretty much all I focus on when I'm swimming right now is just like how my fingertip is entering the water.
Mm.
I'm like, that's it. I just think about
Yeah.
that for an hour. Just like how's my fingertip going into the
And that's
water?
how you make changes too. Like,
Yeah.
or like that's how you keep your stroke together. That's a good cue for you. No, I like that. And I'm the same way. I can do boring sets too, but I was swimming with my fiance actually.
Hmm.
And she's like, I want a 300-yard set. And I was giving her like 300-yard set after 300-yard set. Like I do some stuff and then she's like, okay, I'm done. But she wants to be thinking about it the whole time because if she doesn't, she just wants to get out.
Hmm.
So she's like, oh, break it down basically by 25. So, everyone, whatever's going to keep you in the pool longer is probably the move for you, right?
Yeah, for sure. And also like having a way to count these. It's like a
Yeah.
little thing, but like being able to count and keep track, I find that really motivating for me. Like on my pool deck, we have like tiles on the top and we kind of have a raised up deck and there's 10 of them and they're about the width of a section of a pole buoy. So I move the pole buoy across each tile and that's how I count to 10 and I can count to 20 on the way back. And
That's pretty cute. That's pretty
yeah,
cute,
but
really.
except for when someone shares a lane with me, because like you usually
Yeah,
put
then
your
they
stuff
mess
on
it
one
up.
side.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't touch my buoy, and they're like, this guy's
That actually
crazy.
needs to be there, so don't touch that,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm like, please don't. You could share with me. I always let people share with me.
Yeah.
Um, I try not to get
Oh yeah,
people
of
to share with
course,
me,
for sure.
but yeah,
Yeah, people usually like see me and they're like, I'm gonna might choose a different lane. But I'm always like, hey, you can hop in, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they like find a lane that has like one person that's more their speed and they'll go in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But
Whenever you don't want
um,
someone to swim in your lane, just do butterfly. That's it.
yeah, right. Just rip butterfly.
Yeah,
Now, since I did do the set, I'll tell everyone how fast I swam on it.
yeah. How fast did you
It's
swim, Greg?
this was a Monday and I had raced on I think it was Boulder was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had raced 2 days before and I was leaving Colorado on Tuesday and like we were someone with like like Chase was there, McQueen and some
Mm-hmm.
and like Dar. Dar was like leading the lane. Chase was like chilling in the back. But I was like feeling kind of good. So I was like, I might as well just like go kind of hard today. So I think I swam. I kind of started around like 310 or so, like on yards. Like I was getting tons of rest and then just kind of squeezed it down. I think I was like maybe like 302s, 301s on like the last two. And then the last one I was like maybe like 255. And
Mhm.
Dar and I were kind of duking it out, but I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna like open it up and like leave you
Nice.
behind. So that's what I ended up doing. But
That's awesome.
they were probably, I don't, he wasn't like, he probably wasn't as working as hard as I was. Like they were kind of doing the set as written, not like I kind of went a little harder. Like I was
Mhm.
probably, and Floor was next to me too. And like I was like, what's up? Like, yeah,
Flora Duffy's
Uh,
the Olympic champion from 2021.
yeah, excellent. We're champion now. Well, I guess
Yeah.
she's always an Olympic champion, not the
Yeah, yeah.
current Olympic champion.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, anyway, so that's how that went for me. The last set was 100, 200, 300, 400. Same thing. I think it was we all pulled. I think it was kind
Yeah.
of written as a pull set. Um,
That's a good 1,000 pull at the end.
yeah, a good 1,000 pull. I guess if I were to change it, I might like reverse it. But
That's what I
in
was
the
gonna
end
say.
too, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. I kind of I'd rather see that, as you shorten the intervals, as you fatigue a little bit more, try to keep it together. Um, and just kind of like a neat, steady, moderate
Mhm.
interval. And then warm down. Yeah, not too much to it, I guess. I think that's a good structure though. I mean, this is like a 5K workout actually. Um,
Mhm.
but you a lot of the times I'll swim 3K and I'll get 1,000 paddles in to make it 4K. That's like kind of the bread and butter for me. However, we were just saying don't rely on the paddles too much.
Yeah.
I will caveat that with I've been an elite swimmer my whole life and I use paddles strategically as a tool, but we can't, if you need them to get through workouts, like, yeah, just rethink it a little bit.
Yeah. An easy way to not use your paddles is leave them at home.
Yeah.
It's kind of freeing, honestly, going to the pool with just your cap and goggles and a towel.
Yeah,
Thinking about
right.
that.
And obviously not a watch because there's a clock there for you to look at.
Yeah, not a watch. Oh my gosh. There's a guy swimming in the lane next to me the other day in his triathlon wetsuit with a watch, and he had his gear bag. It had like Ironman World Championship. It was like an Ironman World Champs bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Just by his pool deck. Uh, and when he got out of the pool, he immediately like started looking at the data on his watch and like how many yards he swam, like scrolling through it and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He probably wasn't in there that long.
Yeah, he
These guys, it
was.
takes them 30 minutes to get ready and they swim for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I swam for a little over an hour, and I got there while he was in the pool, and he got out like shortly after. So I don't know how
Yeah.
long he was in the pool. But
Who
anyways,
knows? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, sorry. This is like a side question. When should you swim in your wetsuit in the pool, Greg?
I was just thinking that. I mean, never. Like if you need to try it out for a race, that's fine. I always feel weird doing it because like you're
Hmm.
just showing up to a pool, like putting on a wetsuit, like who's this jabroni over here?
Yeah.
Like if you don't, but other than that, like I don't really see the purpose to
Hmm.
do that. I mean, like that guy probably has used the wetsuit before. Like people just want to do it to like swim faster,
I
essentially.
think
So I think
actually
that's
I've seen him
weird.
before. I think I've only seen him swim in the wetsuit.
I mean, maybe he has some like skin condition we don't know about. Whatever. Like we can give
Sun
him that other
protection,
doubt.
maybe. I don't know.
Some protection, but it's also the pools are 80. Like
Yeah.
if you're swimming easy, fine, someone in a wetsuit. If you're like doing any type of workout, you're gonna get so freaking hot, and then
Hmm.
your quality of your work is low. So honestly, like I don't know what anyone's like. If I were to try out my wetsuit in a pool, I would bring it, I would warm up without it, put it on, swim it. Okay, it's cool. Take it off, finish the workout. But like to do a whole workout in it, maybe some crazy heat race you're prepping for, but even then, it's like just work hard. You're gonna get hot.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess never was that
Wow.
answer.
Is
What?
that your hot take for the day?
I guess that's like kind of a hot take. Like if you're wearing a wetsuit in the pool, what actually are you doing? Because I have a lot of questions, and I need to talk to your coach probably.
Yeah, I can only think of I pretty much just if it's a brand new wetsuit and I've never swam in it, I'll swim in it once in the pool before a key race and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, I won't swim in it. Um, in
I
the
mean, they're
pool.
made to swim immediately. Like I've gotten wetsuits where I haven't swum in it one time and have done used it in a race, but it's not like a different type of wetsuit. It's like I've swam in this Roka. I just got a new Roka. I looked at it. I put it on in my house. It fit fine, and I'm like, I don't need to swim in this. It's gonna be fine for the race. It's not pro swimmers aren't trying out their suits. I mean, maybe you should try out the wetsuit, like if you don't know. But I guess I'm fine tuned. I know if it's going to fit me or not, and I don't have to try it in the ocean or the pool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, in the pool is weird too. Yeah, if you need to try it out, that's one thing. But yeah, you just get hot. Super
Hmm.
weird.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Well, I guess. Well, I will say one other hot take because
Yeah.
I kind of planned one. Um, I guess my hot take is you don't need to have arm strength to be a good swimmer. And that's my what what kind of stem this was for me when I swam a 359 400-meter long course freestyle. I couldn't do a pull up. I was 16. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I couldn't do a pull up. Like I wasn't strong. You want to do an arm wrestling? I'm losing. But like I was one of the fastest 400 freestylers in the country. So you don't need that arm strength. If you're like, oh, what's missing in my swimming? It's like, oh, my gym work. Like, nah, you probably just need to swim more.
Hmm. Yeah. I cannot do that many pull-ups. But I see like
Yeah.
some triathletes who do like weighted pull-ups and they're like, it's gonna give me that little extra like I need to
Yeah.
swim. And then they're still like second pack. And it's like,
Yeah. And we did that in college,
hmm.
but it's different. Like walls are so important. And like most of us are swimming 200s and stuff. It's just like, yeah, swim strength, like arm strength is great, but you don't have to have it. Like Janet Evans, who set the world record in the 1500, like when she was 17 she was like 98 pounds. Like, bro, you think
Hmm.
she was strong at all? No, not at all. So you find the stroke that's efficient for your body, and that's what it's about. You can
Hmm.
move in the same way.
It's
Pretty
all about,
crazy, actually, though, when you think about it.
yeah. It's all about using the water to move through the water. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Wow. I'll ponder that as we wrap up shop here.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Share it with people. We also have the video on YouTube if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch it. And you can also see the wonderful whiteboard set. Justin Metzler actually has pretty good handwriting. I could read this pretty well. So shout out to him again.
Especially for a guy.
Yeah,
Real.
for sure. And yeah, have a good one, you guys. See ya.
Peace.